Emotional intelligence is the most critical skill you will ever learn. While some people claim you just don't have it, I'm here to tell you that you can and will learn how to be emotionally intelligent to crush the soft skills needed for an amazing interview. The secret to landing your dream role is making sure the hiring manager has an amazing experience. Show up with great energy, display a high level of empathy, and relate to them in ways that shows you're aware of the challenges they face day to day. In order to give you examples of emotional intelligence, I want to make you aware of a few ways to show this in interviews. While I can't share everything, my goal with this is to inspire you to be aware of triggers that give you the opportunity to show awareness. So let's dive in. Example, a hiring manager is most likely managing a full team, responsible for daily tasks, is dealing with hundreds of competing priorities, and still has a life outside of work. Being a former manager myself, I understand the hassle that comes with interviewing candidates. It's not that managers aren't excited to meet you, but it's safe to say that a manager has had a track record of interviews with unprepared candidates, so they might not be expecting a good one. Trust me, I have sat through dozens of awful interviews. Now that you understand this, there could possibly be negative or distracting energy heading into the interview on their end. So you can make sure you empathize and transform the energy into a positive one that gets them excited. Here's an idea to toss in somewhere towards the beginning of an interview. Hey, John, I know you're extremely busy, probably balancing hundreds of priorities and trying to hit your number and a million other things that I can't even comprehend. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to meet. Knowing how busy you are today, my goal is to make the next 30 minutes the highlight of your day. Now, a few things this communicates. This shows empathy, positivity, and it also shows you can run a call with the customer, and that's something you might be doing when you actually get into the role. Now, another example. So let's say you're on a call and it's coming up on time, but the call is going very well and you want a little more time. This may happen because you spoke a lot or you had good rapport, or maybe they spoke a lot and you didn't have a lot of time to ask questions you really cared about. So here's a way to show emotional intelligence as the time is coming to a close. Let's say there's 3 more minutes left up in the 30-minute call. Hey John, I'm loving our conversation and know we just have a few more minutes. I'm sure you're extremely busy, so I don't want to hold you hostage, but would you be willing to go a few minutes over so I can ask a few final questions? Notice a few things this communicates. It communicates you're aware of time. You're aware of their schedule and priorities. And you're aware the call needs to end soon, but this won't go on for hours. In my experience, people can typically go over if you show you are aware. However, naturally assuming they can go over without calling it out may seem disrespectful. It's not always going to be a yes, and that's not necessarily the goal, but it's to show that you are aware of the most valuable asset in their life, which is their time. Now, another example is an immediate thank you, and this is a controversial one. I've heard the feedback to send a thank you right after a call. While I think the feedback is well intended, my rule of thumb is don't do it right after, but do it before your head hits the pillow that night, or possibly next morning if it was a very late interview. When someone sends me an email 5 minutes after an interview, it makes me feel like they had a pre-built template and they're just doing a task. And because it's only 5 minutes after the interview, it doesn't seem like they've taken the time to absorb the experience and send a genuine thank you after processing everything. My advice, wait at least 2 hours. Give it some time and type something meaningful, and give space to show you have really absorbed what just happened. However, if you send an extremely custom email 5 minutes after, that is great. Just don't send a generic one. Personalization is key to executing a good thank you. Example, hi John, it was great to meet you and happy you enjoyed your trip to Japan. I appreciate your insights on the hard work, organization, and discipline you mentioned it takes to be an A+ performer in this role. Have a good time at South by Southwest this weekend and look forward to hearing back from you early next week. Bonus, the rebuttal email. I see tons of people miss questions in the interview only to type out a huge rebuttal in their thank you email. While it might seem like you're saving yourself, it can come across like you are not confident in your performance. This is tough and why it's so crucial to prepare for your calls. I'm not saying don't go for it, but if you do, start by expressing sincere gratitude for the opportunity to interview. Highlight a specific moment or insight from the interview that resonated with you, showing your attentiveness and engagement. Then gracefully address any concerns or objections raised during the interview. For example, if there was a question about your experience in a particular area, you could say, I appreciate you bringing up my experience in X. While it may not seem in a short call that I have extensive experience in that area, I believe my skills with blank and blank, which I've successfully applied in other similar situations, makes me well equipped to tackle such challenges. This approach demonstrates your ability to receive feedback positively, your confidence in your abilities, and your eagerness to grow and adapt. Conclude by reiterating your enthusiasm for the role, company, and express your hope for further discussions. The blend of gratitude, reflection, and gentle rebuttal can leave a lasting positive impression with the interviewer. At the end of the day, come with emotional intelligence. It's going to be your ultimate superpower to give someone an amazing experience throughout your interview process.